Hi, Jake, Francisco, Alexander, Han, and Brantley. Pleasure to meet you guys. I'm Jerry, and first, big thank you for taking some time to allow me to introduce myself here. So, I think a good place to start is, where are you from? And I've been living in the Bay Area for about 3 years now. When I grew up as a kid, I spent time in about 4 states and an island out in the Pacific. And then post-college, I lived in about 15 countries in the course of about 10 years or so, something like that. A lot of it was for work, so it's a lot of back and forth there. I was trying to think of a good story that would highlight how I think about clients, how I think about dealing with people, how I think about sharing experiences or learning or teaching anybody something. Something that wasn't on my resume. And I came up with a story where I was in Tuscany. So if you guys can take a break and imagine you're not in Potrero Hill at the moment, but you're actually in Tuscany. There's lots of beautiful hills around you, lots of culture. And someone's just given you $120,000 to build a trip for 25 people there. They want to know all the culture. They want to feel like they've lived there, even in just those 6 days. And so we've got it all done. You're meeting your people now, and you've got to really get things going. You've got to onboard them quickly. You've got to get them used to your program. You've got to get them to engage in the version of Italy that you think they should. So that's going really well in the first 2 hours at least. The plan's laid out from morning to night. And I noticed that one of the most important players is not doing so hot quickly. Really far behind the group. We're all biking at this point because that was one of the big activities that they wanted to do. And it's a former vice president of the United States. And to make matters worse, his friends, who are the CEO of Walmart and CEOs of other Fortune 500 companies, are racing ahead. Super competitive group, which shows me exactly why they do well in business. So at any rate, Dan Quayle and I are now way, way far off. He's miserable. He's not happy. He doesn't want to engage with the experiences of the product that we had. And I've got my hand on his back and I'm pushing him up the hill. So he's a little humiliated in the process too. But nonetheless, I've got to think, okay, how can I reformat this whole plan without doing two things, which are breaking our entire existing format and our entire existing plan? And how can I get him to re-engage to a point where with a little bit of hard work right up front, he can actually figure this out on his own and do this without such hand-holding? If I let him do what he wants to do, which is quit, he'll create a disaster for himself, for my co-workers, and for the people around him. He'll hurt the overall trip. So I've got to ask him some key questions to build some trust. And the weirdest part is within 2 minutes, some of those questions made me realize the first thing I should do to show him that I have some knowledge that he could actually learn from and trust me with, take my advice, was to ask him point blank if he would be okay not wearing the underwear he was wearing while he was biking ever again. It was definitely an awkward question. Never thought I'd ask a VP that kind of a question. I mean, imagine yourself trying to ask Obama or somebody about their underwear. It sounds ludicrous to me still. But at the time, it seemed like the best way to accomplish that. And it did. He immediately trusted me. He showed up every morning and he said, "What's my plan? What's going on here?" And within a couple mornings, he didn't ask me anymore what his plan was. He engaged with our program. He helped himself. He figured it out. And at the end of the trip, he gave himself a nice big speech and got a standing ovation for it because he was extremely proud he could do something literally nobody on the trip thought he could. And not only that, it actually helped him become a net promoter for us. He came back 4 times in 4 years and brought 4 more groups to the company. So it was a huge win for everybody. So that's a little bit how I think about things with people. I really think you have to be empathetic to their situation. You have to realize what you can and can't do for them. Part of what we did with Dan Quayle was also saying no to him. We can't just say yes for everything. And he was okay with that. It actually worked out really well. So if you ever need to ask a VP for what undergarments he should wear, don't ask me for help. I have no idea how you do that twice, but it did work once at least. So thanks for your time today, guys, and hope to meet you guys soon and see if we can be a good fit and work together at some point. All right, thank you. Bye.